reason why I have the blur.
It's a blur, just
it
like
was
It's
obvious.
a
It was
blur.
obvious ass scratch going on, baby.
No, that was up here.
No,
What's
that
up,
was
everybody? No, we're not late. We're right on time.
Oh shit, we're
The
live.
party start. Yeah, we're live. Oh, it's okay. Logan's back. He was late, and he was in his house and right there. And he was in earlier, just to give him a little bit of credit. But what's up, everybody? This is the Beard Laws Podcast, episode 114. That's right, 114th time. For whatever reason, you decided to come and hang out with us. Today, we're going to talk about a broken sink that was broken in a very fun way, and somebody got arrested for it, though. We're also going to talk about how a father utilized the leg sweep, was also arrested. And then we're going to talk about, then we're going to talk about how a Florida man got a new pet with the purchase of a new couch. And that doesn't always happen. It's Florida. So if you're thinking it's a cuddly cat or something, it's probably going to be something different. So a whole lot of arrests. And also, there was a couple of people were arrested for hiding their meth in a frozen TV dinner. And we're going to discuss that as well. And as you guys can see, I'm Matt with Beard Laws. That is, they call me Toby too. Welcome back, Toby.
Thanks, guys.
You forgot this part, the chin part of your beard.
Yeah, I left it at the last podcast.
Yes. So if anybody can find that from the last podcast, just feel free to send it over. You guys can email pictures of it and to Logan at beardlaws.com, which welcome, Logan. And Brandon, you got something to say? I'm sorry, I keep talking.
I was just gonna say that bottom part of the chin, the beard, I thought it was just written off. I didn't know that was
it's tax write-off.
Yes.
You know, you gotta pay that back after at the end of every year. So
the tax write-offs aren't the best write-offs, if you know what I mean.
I think at this point in time, we all know that I'm like one of the chameleons of facial hair that we know.
Yeah, and we're gonna start calling you Karma Chameleon.
That's what I'm talking about.
But maybe we won't, because I don't know. I feel like we can come up with something. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. And shout out Squeaks Beard.
All right.
Yes. So yeah, the pigs definitely ate the beard off. And so if anybody is just listening to the podcast, we greatly appreciate you. And we've had a huge spike in people that just want to listen only to us. I don't know if that's a good thing or if we should be offended that you don't want to see our beautiful faces and lack thereof facial hair every other week, but I don't know. Either way, we thank you for listening, and hopefully that means that we're doing a better job with it, kind of audio as well as visual. So thank you guys very much. And I was going to do the intro, but I'm just ready to jump into this episode. Thanks to Brandon again for some great news articles, and I feel like we're going to do that. But before we get into kind of the news articles, I just want to go around and just kind of see how everybody's doing, what you guys have been up to. I know, Toby, last week you had a visitor, and you were working on a cool little project. If you'd like to talk about it, cool. If not, just tell us what's up.
Sure. So last week I had John Johnson, aka D-Flix, on TikTok and other platforms. Was over here, and we finally knocked out the voiceovers for the movie Shark, You Son of a Bitch, which is a lot of fun. And then he kind of had a couple of Parkinson's moments where his Parkinson's started kind of go out of control. So we decided, hey, you know what, let's shoot a bunch of TikToks. We did that. He is now writing the next movie that will star myself and my wife, called Breathless. So that'll be a lot of fun. Outside of that, man, I've just been sitting here on workers' comp for the last 2 months, not being taken care of.
But you do have an appointment coming up. That's good news, right?
On the 13th.
Okay, well, I guess
so Monday.
So it's only, instead of, a couple of months, and it's not quite a half a year yet, but hopefully everything goes well in that appointment. All kidding aside, be good to get you fixed up, the parts that are fixable, that is.
Yes.
Yeah. And Brandon, what's up? Brandon J McDermott. You guys can find him on all the social medias at Brandon J McDermott. What have you been up to, man?
Fat man certified, just riding and having a good time. Had a really good week and really good month.
Awesome.
Was promoted at work and got a corner office, so things are going good.
Congratulations. I have a window.
It's got 2 windows.
What? That's
like
pretty.
Two walls are windows.
Wow. That's awesome. Congratulations. And one of the most kind of aggressive, maybe that's the word, kind of guy on social media almost every night. Is it every night that you're streaming at night, just kind of continuing to hustle?
Yep, streaming. I'd shoot between 6 and 8 feet on that stream. It depends on how hard I squeeze it, but it's pretty powerful. Yeah, we do stream on Twitch and Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok now. So we stream all over, and video games, trying to switch it up here and there, but having lots of fun.
Heck yeah. And then there was allegedly a guy named Beardlaws was on one of your streams a little while ago and just had to kind of carry the team. So
he carried the team and then never came back. And it's like dad out for milk and just never to return.
Yes. So and then last but not least, and we're not going in order from tallest to shortest, obviously, because we went Toby second. But Logan, what's up, man? You were here last week as well. But what anything good happened? I know there's a bunch of not good stuff, but anything good from it? Like,
well, I don't know.
You made a Christmas tree. That's good.
There's a little COVID in the house, but it's all good. Everyone's healthy. I mean, other than the title, but nothing major. My wife thinks I'm a dork because I made a Christmas tree out of paper and these little fuzzy stick-on things, and I just got to do the star. But there's more to this. There's glue and there's lollipop sticks. So I'm done. That's about all I got.
Nice. And we're going to auction it off at the end of the show. Once we hit 25 likes on the live video, we're going to auction it off for, I'm thinking it's going to go for about 69 cents. But
absolutely.
So once we do that, we'll do there, but no, pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, that's, I guess cool that's the most exciting thing in your life, but it could be a lot worse. And hopefully everybody gets rid of the COVID in the house and everything gets better quick.
It could be worse. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's all right. So if anything,
you guys could have explosive diarrhea and be fighting over, which one needs to go to the bathroom first.
Luckily, we have 2 bathrooms and a hole in the basement floor, so we're good.
Yes, I've peed in that hole in the basement floor before.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
I had permission, so I guess I don't have to say allegedly. But so shout out to I just want to give a big shout out to everybody in Florida, because not everybody, but a lot of you, because if it wasn't for all you very awesome people in Florida, we wouldn't probably have a lot of cool news articles that we feature on the show. There's just something. Me and a coworker today, we were kind of talking that, you look at the packages of a lot of things and it says causes cancer in California. We're like, why the hell does it only cause cancer in California? And we just had some other words that we're not going to bring on here. Some of them were political by the coworker, but we think it was too much sun. And I think that's what happens in Florida. I think they just get too much sun, too much vitamin C, and just some weird shit happens down there. Do you guys have any reason why things are so weird in Florida?
Schwarzenegger being governor?
Yeah, it's
California.
Yeah,
from what I understand, like he did a pretty good job up until the maid thing, but up until that point, from what I understand, he had a really favorable following.
He's a pretty big guy. I feel like
he says he was doing a bad job with the maid. She enjoyed it.
What is it with governors and extramarital affairs is what I want to know.
Oh,
it didn't happen with Ventura. That's all I'm saying.
Ace Ventura. He was a hell of a pet detective.
The body was the governor of Minnesota for years. I remember during his what do they call it? Gubernatorial election race or whatever. He actually had a wrestling match with the person that he was going against in like the middle of the town square in Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. So the sun bleaches the brains. So that's Razi's excuse for the incident.
That's a good one.
We'll go with that one. I mean, or it's no offense, but maybe just you're not a skater. I mean, Avril Lavigne, yes, she likes skater boys or whatever the song was about, and I know that's probably why you were trying to be a skater boy, but she said, "See you later, boy."
Well,
and
Lillette said, "Remember when Springer was a mayor?" But Springer was a mayor before the Jerry Springer Show.
Right.
That didn't happen after. That's not like, hey, I was an actor in Predator and then became a governor, or I was a professional wrestler and then starred in a movie with Schwarzenegger and then became a governor. No, that was, hey, I did mayor and that sucked. What happens if I make people fight on TV?
But could you imagine if Jerry Springer was a judge and had a show too?
I'll do it.
Wait, he does? And maybe there was somebody that was on that? Can we talk about that?
Wait, was that real?
Yeah, they flew me out to Connecticut in August to be on the Judge Jerry Springer show.
Yes.
And it hasn't aired yet. It's supposed to air this season. We'll see if it does. They're airing episodes all the way to May, so we'll see if it airs.
Did you get to fight?
No. No, I did not get a fight. It was a very great show, very great people that worked on the show and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But,
did you know he had his own judge style show? Not like the Jerry Springer show. What's it called? Judge Jerry?
Just Judge Jerry.
Yeah. I love Judge Judy, so I can go for any of these Judge Jays. Seem to like they might be winners.
Yeah. And you know who else is seeing all of these judges? A bunch of these criminals that we're going to talk about in a little bit. That would have been a perfect segue, but let's just segue. Let's segue. Okay. Let's talk about a criminal that broke a sink. All right. Brandon has seen the articles, but I just want to throw it out. I want Toby and Logan to each to kind of throw in a guess like this criminal charge for breaking a sink. How do you think they broke it in just kind of in your without I think she is a Florida woman. Let me throw it out there. She is. I think
she was sitting on it to take a shit.
Okay,
that's a good guess.
Logan's already like I can't. Like I'm like.
Well, for one, it's actually the manufacturer's fault because those the boxes with the sinks and the boxes you buy them, they don't give a weight limit. And clearly, she was. I mean, I'll just go by from my past experience, she was a bigger girl and she probably exceeded the weight limit. And don't sit on the edge either. If you're going to sit on the sink, then you have to sit back so the weight is evenly distributed. But if you're a bigger girl, like I was used to, it didn't matter.
Didn't matter. Okay. Maybe she was getting on there to, they didn't have a bidet. So maybe she was, washing. But no, she was having sex on it. Yep.
There it is. It had to have been one of the two. It had to have been.
It had to be. So December 9th, this is an article from thesmokinggun.com.
I love
while being intimate, I almost thought I said while being an inmate and then being intimate, but it was intimate with a friend. They were just friends, okay? Just like Biz Marquis. You say he's just a friend. You say he's just a friend. And
who else would you be intimate with? Let's be honest.
Right? Just a friend. They were in a restaurant bathroom. A Florida woman.
In prison.
Oh yeah, it was not in prison yet, but maybe they'll get there. So a Florida woman broke a sink off the wall, leading to her arrest for criminal mischief. Investigators say that Catherine Trammell, 37, caused $500 in damage Tuesday during an afternoon encounter inside a bathroom at Irish 31, an eatery in Seminole. Yeah, so Luck of the Irish was with her. According to the arrest affidavit, Trammell and a friend were asked to leave the restaurant after staff discovered them in the bathroom. The defendant and her friend then left the bathroom and sat at the bar. So the cops came, they returned to the bathroom. They apparently had unfinished business.
So you said it was in Seminole, Florida?
Yes.
I wonder if there was any seminal fluid left.
I knew. I've been sitting back. I was sitting there watching the whole time you were talking. I'm watching Brandon going, he's waiting. He's biding his time. He's coming up with a joke. And then he goes, ha! I was like, here comes the Seminole. Here comes the Seminole. And then did not disappoint. Disappoint.
That was perfect, but apparently there's no information, there's no details on anything, but they did confirm that the friend did appear to be a male. So I don't know if it's kind of like a dude looks like a lady style, you know what I mean, song. Maybe that was on the jukebox. I don't know. And no charges apparently to the other one and a $500 fine. But it's weird because I can't tell in the picture. I want to show you the pictures, but there's a bunch of ads that I don't think we should show on here. There are some aggressive ads on there. One of them says, ouch, crotch shot. And there is a weapon next to it. Sharing is caring. Don't. Duo nab for squad car sex. These are the ads after. I mean, they've really targeted them. Well done, smoking gun.
I love the Smoking Gun website so much.
And the most popular articles on this website are pretty good. Apparently, cops webcam model accidentally shot herself in the private parts.
Of course.
Or shot self. Doesn't say his or her. Sorry. There was a picture of a woman. I just assumed, but apparently it isn't. Cop's side of meth was served at Waffle House. Actor McConaughey in nude bongo bust.
That's not surprising.
No, that's
Quick
not.
question.
Yeah.
The articles that you want on here, do you want them to be like current events, or can we send you like maybe something from a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, anything fun.
That made,
yeah.
I'm always looking for something that happened like within the last day or two, and like I can never find anything. But now that I know.
The only reason I threw in December 9th on this one is because it was the first part of it, and I didn't pre-read any. I don't really pre-read them. I probably should, but Brandon does all the hard work and finds them. I feel like I don't even have to, because it's not like he's going to send me some weird, inappropriate stuff, because apparently having sex on a sink is very appropriate for the show, and I'm for it. But yeah, so shout out to Irish31 if you guys are looking to get lucky. I recommend not trying the bathroom trick for a little bit. Maybe try to be a little more creative, because they're on to you. They're on to you.
Use the toilet. At least you're supposed to sit on that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't.
But you can't get them up at the right elevation if you put them on the toilet.
Yep.
I mean,
do we think she was on the toilet?
5'6". I can still put my wife up on like our sink counter, and she'll be chef's kiss. Perfect.
So are we just assuming she was on it? Maybe they were having fun and she was holding it, and it was just a cheap sink. And you know what I mean?
God, could you imagine? She's just sitting there on the front, and she's like, and it's just out. He'd have to be out. She'd have to be out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just picturing a Florida Irish pub. I'd have to imagine not a nice bathroom. I'm just picturing flimsy, cheap sinks.
I would like to point out, look at his face. Look at Brandon's face right now. It's right here. It's stewing right now. This is what drives my whole being, is watching Brandon while we discuss, and he stays quiet, and he's like, wait, here. It's just developing. There's a whole script in his head right now that he just hasn't spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he doesn't want to rude you.
I'll tell you this, Toby. Well, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to jump on anybody who's already telling stories and talking, but not all of us are I don't want to say lucky enough, but not all of us have chosen to be with women who are the physique that the one that you've chosen to be with, Toby. Now, I think this is either a story of a cheap sink or a hefty woman.
I think both.
Because I bet the sink was fine. It was, you guys ever seen Shallow Hal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you remember the scene where like she sits down and the chair breaks? What's this made out of? He goes, steel.
He's like, it's steel, quarter-inch thick steel, sir. I don't.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Brandon, I give you full permission at any point to just say, let me interrupt you for a second. When that is stewing, let it out. All right. You just let us know. You let that thing out. And yeah. And I just wanted quick, we got an angry Facebook little emoji from a Zeal Hack Musin, and I'm sorry that you're angry. I hope you have a better day. And I just wanted to thank you for showing that emoji, because that's the first time I've seen the angry one. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's pretty cool. So thank you for leaving that. We greatly appreciate it. So let's talk about this. When I did the little introduction, I said how a father used the leg sweep on his son, and Toby was like, what? He has questions. So I wanted to get into
I don't have questions. I have acceptance just from the title.
Fair enough. Okay, I like it. So I'm not exactly sure where this is. It's kind of a tough word. So we're going to go with Fulton. All right. This happened in Fulton. I don't know if it's Fulton, New York, because I've heard of that. No, it's not, because it's Callaway County.
Folsom.
Yes. Not Folsom.
Father's son hanging out in prison. Just, let me show you how to do this, kid. Down he goes.
So wherever Callaway County is, if anybody in the chat wants to, clarify it for us, it's the police chief was arrested and charged Tuesday. So it was the police chief that actually did that with an alleged fight with his 15-year-old son. Kevin, we're just going to say his name is Kevin. He's 59. He was charged with 4th-degree domestic assault. So here is a little bit of the court documents. The Callaway County deputies were called to the disturbance about 4:30 p.m. Tuesday. Upon arrival, the 15-year-old son, according to the court documents, he's going to go by the name of JS, because that's what it says. The son is labeled JS. Deputies arrived. JS, he showed deputies text messages from his father, and his father was clearly upset over JS's grades. And keep in mind, this guy is the police chief. Doesn't look like a very tough police chief, but he's a police chief. I'm assuming it's a small county, because like when I'm gonna try to show you guys the picture, and maybe we'll try to have visualizations on how this guy is, because I was picturing like like a guy from Cobra Kai, one of those guys like that. Yeah, even though he's probably not going to sweep the leg, but either way, so the father came home, instantly took off his glasses and approached JS. Yeah,
Okay, let me interrupt just for a second.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody does that's it. There's a fight getting ready to happen. Secondly, if you're talking about a police chief, his picture probably just makes him look like a douchebag.
Yeah.
I grew up. Growing up, I had a friend whose dad was the police chief. He was a complete douchebag. In my mid-20s, I knew a guy whose dad was a police chief. He was a complete douchebag, looked like a douchebag. Like it's something about like you have this dreamscape that everybody's gonna look like, Commissioner Gordon. And no, they don't. They really look like the mid-30s to 40s version of a Chet.
Yes. Absolutely. That's if you could picture Chet, he almost kind of reminds of like I was trying to think what show, like wasn't there Doing the Walking Dead that just had that military cut, like bigger face. I haven't watched Walking Dead in a long time.
I mean, Shane. You had Shane.
No, it wasn't Shane. It was later. Either way, let's go with douche. So he takes his glasses off. We're gonna say his name's Chet from now on, not Kevin. He's definitely Kevin though. Looks like a Kevin. And JS then said Kevin placed his leg behind JS, pushed him to the ground, then noted that the move is called the leg sweep and is a law enforcement tactic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. I'm going to clear this shit up real quick. Hold on. Come here. Come here.
Oh, fuck.
We're gonna show you the difference between these two moves.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's my wife. She's trained. All right. So essentially, what he's talking about is he walked up behind his kid, like he walked up to his kid. And he was like, "Hey, put his leg behind her and like did this." That's not a leg sweep.
No.
A leg sweep is where you walk up to somebody and you're standing in this position and you're knocking their leg. Oh, sorry.
I'm good.
And you're just straight leveling them. You take them out at the knee, you hook it, and you pull upwards and out, and the leg comes out. Are you good?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay. So she's gonna have a bruise later. Don't report me. Like we're all right.
No, it's all good. That was a demonstration. That was for demonstration purposes, and I heard her say, "Yeah, I'm the chicken whisperer, but I'm here for this demonstration." Like I heard her say that.
Ow!
There was no. She didn't say the safe word, so we're good. She's okay.
Yeah, and I
You
think
all
it was.
know the safe word?
Oh,
Oh, he's like, you guys aren't going to know that word. We're not going to. But so the son fell to the ground, and apparently he went to jail, and he was released on a $1,500 bond. He was placed on an administrative leave for 1 day, and apparently there was more complaints about his Facebook and all this other stuff. He resigned. There was even a protest. There was a protest. So all this happened in Missouri. So shout out to Euban. Whacking off because he's from Missouri as well. So maybe we'll have him report live on the situation and see if there's any updates on this. And we'll thank you to KOMU.com. I don't know how you would say it. Komu?
So,
KOMO.
I'd say wait, what was the letters again?
KOMU.com.
I figured Komu.
I don't know. Apparently it's
Brandon?
a new breed of a cow. Komu.
I'm guessing it's a radio or television station.
clearly a very reputable site.
Yeah, but either way, so there was that, and I was excited when I saw the leg sweep. I instantly thought Karate Kid, and it was pretty uneventful, but it's pretty shitty that this apparently father-son relationship is not good. I mean,
are they saying basically that you can't hit your children and take out their legs? Is that the whole moral of this story?
I get probably.
Listen, would you rather know that a father took his kid's legs out from under him, or just like decked him in the throat and drug him to the ground?
Right, like.
Because I can tell you right now, when Joseph and I,
the kid's
when he was
probably
still alive, that's how I took him out.
Yeah.
I swept that. I grabbed him by his chest. I kicked my leg out from behind him while I pushed him backwards, took the legs out, and we diffused the situation that way. And I was like, I will talk to you when you are calmed down.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how you should do it. Like the least amount of force possible to diffuse the situation. Now, this guy probably did it just because he's a douche, but I did it that way because I didn't feel like hurting my child.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
and you know, and things can go wrong too. You know, the heated situation, they get a little older, sometimes don't know their own strength. And, you know, sometimes just teenage boys just get angry.
I think there's way more to that story.
There definitely is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
But,
teen angst.
It's easy for parents to blame grades for, you know, especially if you're the police chief, you know.
Here's a quick question. We all have kids, right? Okay. Besides me, who has kids that are in their like late teens, 20s? Nobody?
No.
Okay. Do you all, because when my kids were growing up, I used to tell my wife all the time, and I want to know if you guys have had similar conversations either with your spouses or at some point in time with somebody saying it's going to happen. There's eventually going to come a time where this child is going to step up and be like, I'm taking on dad. Like, have you had either that feeling or had that conversation? Because I did it all the time with her. I'm like, it's at eventually, and you know which kid. Like I had two because I made a backup, and I knew that the oldest one, the whole time I was like, it's event with him specifically. Eventually, this is going to eventually come to a head, and it did. With the youngest one, never felt that way. I'm like, he is going to either have the fear of God in him the entire time, or he's just going to be understanding and never get to that point. And so far, we've never had a problem.
Yeah, I think Logan is going to be one that's going to probably have to attest it for. Like, I have a daughter, Brandon has a daughter, and Logan has a couple of boys that I'm pretty sure already can kick his butt.
I have a devil spawn in my second one, so he's the
first one, I mean, is obsessed with eyeballs and cutting out eyeballs. Is he still on the eyeball thing?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty gross. They're both of them are pretty gross.
So interesting enough. Okay, I'm gonna let my wife slide in here. Just if you guys are all right with that,
absolutely.
I'm gonna let her slide in because she just said something that I would have never thought about. This is really interesting to me what she just said.
It comes to a head with daughters as well. Not with me, because of course I'm the favorite. But
obviously,
with my older sister and my younger sister, oh Lord, have mercy.
But here's the thing that surprised me.
What
are you saying? So with daughters, are you saying with the mother or with the father?
With both. With both.
Imagine. I want men to imagine. Would you ever have gone up against your mom?
No.
I
ever.
Did. Nope.
Okay.
Brandon's like, I know.
My dad was in prison, so it was a different deal. But
yeah.
So with both of my sisters and me being caught in the middle, I was like.
So the middle child syndrome is true. You're there to get yelled at and deflect and hide.
No, I don't want any part of that. But so
your mom and your dad,
both of them.
Man, if I would have even looked at my mom in the wrong way, it would have been a fight with dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I couldn't imagine my mom sweeping the leg. So it was something that I didn't have to worry about. My dad, he played a lot of Mike Tyson Punch Out when we were younger, and he actually got all the way to Tyson without the cheat codes. So I wasn't going to mess with him.
I did get my mother did once chase me and my brother with a knife, but to be fair,
because
she was chopping something up in the kitchen when we were pushing her buttons, and she was like, "I swear to God!" And we're like, "Ah, she got a knife!"
Yeah, convenient. She was always cutting something up in the kitchen through your childhood. Well, when you're in Minnesota, you know what I mean. There's probably always stuff to cook in the kitchen. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and there was the guys are from Minnesota. It's called The Middle of Somewhere, and the one guy, Cy Amnerson or whatever, he's a comedian. When they grew up, they never bought their own meat. The only meat they would eat was stuff that they killed: elk, bear, whatever they could fish or kill. That's what they ate growing up.
That was my house, unless the once a month steak night. That was my house. We'd either have venison butterfly steaks or neck roast or duck or grouse or catfish or fish, or it was always something. I grew up in a house that had a lot of hunting, and we had steak once a month, and that was like the one time that the parents would go out and like purchase meat to cook. Everything else was like stuff that had been in the freezer since like last hunting season, and this hunting season's coming up.
No, that's pretty cool, because and I didn't live that life. It was like a lot of order out Domino's and frozen meals, which in Tennessee you can get arrested apparently for putting meth in a frozen lasagna box, because that apparently is going to be our next article. That was a pretty good segue. I was trying to roll with that, and I'm glad that one worked out. So Monroe County, go ahead.
Isn't that better than like extra preservatives?
I don't know. I've never methed around. I'm going to go with the preservatives, I think, in the frozen lasagna. And so Monroe County Sheriff's, the Office of Narcotics Division, nabbed 2 suspects. I like that they said nabbed. They nabbed them. Donovan McNabbed them. 2 suspects in a search warrant on Tuesday that also yielded more than 200 grams of methamphetamine. And officials are tracking and thanking the Bethlehem community for several calls of complaints on suspected drug trafficking in the area. Most of the meth was found at a residence along this road that nobody cares about, and they were recovered from a frozen lasagna box in a freezer on the property. Who would have thought to look into it? Apparently, they had to do a lengthy investigation of the suspects, and shout out to the Sweetwater Police Department, because you guys probably get a lot of... I feel like Sweetwater is not a very manly cop shop name.
Just a heads up, Wrath. In Oregon, voters in 2020 voted to decriminalize small amounts of meth. So that is one state where it is actually legal to possess.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What the?
Breaking Bad came out too early. That whole show would be completely different now. They're like, we're selling meth, and they're like, and they're like, what do you mean? They're like, we're drug dealers. They're like, no, you're legalized fucking prescription. What do you mean? What? Like,
is there, Matt? Is there a picture of this, by the way, on the website where we can see the meth with the?
Oh yes, there is. I'm glad you asked. It's pretty. But of course, these guys had to go ahead and throw in their cool badges. This is property number 224, and here's the meth that was in the lasagna box.
That is a decent amount of meth right there.
Yes. So right in there, and
that's like a gallon Ziploc.
Yeah.
But at least they used the correct Ziploc bag. That looks like one of those make sure you freeze it bags.
Yeah, that's a freezer bag for sure.
I mean, they had a method to their madness.
Oh,
nice. There.
Yes, that's 330 calories apparently worth of it, or maybe 224. That's why it's on there. The lasagna's 330. The meth was only 224 calories. Family size though, it's a good thing they got the family size.
Dessert.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to see what else apparently was hidden in that freezer. But Tennessee.
Oh, you know what? I have to agree with Fitz here. I can see shrooms being legalized before meth. I can totally see shrooms.
Now, are you talking from the federal level, or?
I'm talking about, I mean, when you're talking about the effect of a drug, right? Like I've never understood the criminalization of weed like of marijuana. I've never understood that. I don't really necessarily understand shrooms either. I don't know of any extremely harmful effects of shrooms.
Diarrhea.
I mean, okay, so we're what? We're going to criminalize Taco Bell now, or
no. I'm in agreement with everything you're saying. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no. I knew what you were saying. I saw an opening, but I've never understood the criminalization of certain drugs, right? Like marijuana. There's so many amazing effects that are helpful when you talk about marijuana or hemp. There's so many things that you can make out of hemp that could solve a lot of issues, and it's that whole, and not to get political, it's that whole 1980s Nancy Reagan war on drugs bullshit that really killed all of this. Now look what it's doing now. Legalization of marijuana in some states has caused such a surplus of money that they're doing dividends during tax time to give money back, or they're really improving the quality of life in their areas because of this. And I mean, people's lives are improving. I myself, as a veteran of 20 years with a lot of different body pains, PTSD, things like that, as somebody that lives in a state where marijuana is not legal, but yet I've still tried it because I'm tired of taking so many pills. I've noticed the benefits of such drugs to see how they can help. And it just boggles my mind why there's still such a fight against these things.
I think folks have kind of understood the history of it and how far it goes back to why weed is so, there's such a stigma against it going back generations. That said, I think I've got a lot of friends who are 100%, weed cures all this, cures that, it does all this, it's great for everybody. I'm not in agreement with that. And for obvious reasons, and just give me a sec, Bob Marley died of cancer. So, I mean, it doesn't, but that said, I think it helps a lot of people, and individually folks should be able to choose what they want to do. Look at how pervasive, and I love alcohol, but look at how pervasive alcohol is in our society, and how welcomed and accepted it is in our society to just go down the road and pick up alcohol, which could kill you in a day. So, or in a night, or in a bottle. So, I'm completely
amen to that, brother.
And I've had
I love alcohol, but consenting adults should be able to choose what to do. Is what I
and to kind of add to that, I've seen, this is just me personally in my life, I've seen alcohol ruin a lot more people's lives than weed has. So, but it could be worse. It could be there. That hat is pretty amazing. So for anybody that is only listening to this, Toby has an amazing snowman hat with what is that, like a little plaid brim. It's weird to see him in a different hat, and a
little red and black, plaid, I guess plaid. Yeah, plaid. Nowadays we look at this and we go, oh, flannel, like, so that's why I'm thinking flannel, and it's got this little black tuft ball at the top.
That's what really makes
this tech. I don't know with Canadians if they would consider this now to be a toque because it's got the puff ball on the top.
Yeah,
I need a Canadian to tell me, but
I mean, we're border town, but we're not technical Canadian. But so that nose is super excited to see you, and I like when you lean back that it blurs it out, almost like it's censoring the nose.
What? Hey, I got one for you. What did one snowman say to the other snowman? Do you smell carrots?
Get that man out of this chat right now.
Wow.
You've been fired.
Shout out Rozzy. Thank you for the super sticker. You
shout
are absolutely amazing. We greatly appreciate you. And
thanks, Rozzy.
Rozzy is just absolutely amazing. So yeah, just real quick thing. I just want to say thank you. Also, we are on the Talking Beards Network, which is a Talking Beards YouTube. We're live over there every Thursday. And if anybody is ever into wanting to maybe take care of their beard a little bit better, you guys can actually go to honestamish.com, get some beard oil. It's the best for your beard, and you can save 15% using the code Talking Beard. So if anybody wants to maybe get some stocking stuffers or anything else, you guys can use the promo code TalkingBeards on Amish.com. Nice wardrobe change. I was just about to tell a story about a chicken next time you walk through with your Chicken Whisperer shirt, and you changed. You changed.
She doesn't know what mute is. She says she wants to hear the story of the Chicken Whisperer.
Okay, so I was gonna segue with because I've been trying to get better at the whole segue thing. So CNN reports that there are now cannons that are keeping airplanes and birds and everything safe. I believe it's a really long article, and I'm hoping Brandon read it at all because I didn't really read much of it. But that's the article: the cannons keeping airplanes safe, one chicken at a time. So apparently airplanes, obviously everybody knows what they are. I would hope so. Logan, they're the things that make loud noises that get you from one destination to another. Just
could you share the link in the chat?
I've seen one of those in the air. Creepy.
Yeah, they're loud, and I'm gonna send the link so you guys could, if you want to like speed read like I'm trying to do right now. But birds may be the undisputed masters of the air, but they've been losing this battle due to airborne collision since the dawn of aviation in 1905 with the pioneer pilot Orville Wright. He reported the first bird strike. Each year, thousands of these poor birds find themselves too close to aircrafts, and they're unable to maneuver away and lose their lives on impact with a plane. 2019, the U.S. alone, from the FAA. Logan, do you know what the FAA is?
Future Farmers of America.
I would like to point out that this man is a teacher of the youth of America.
Yes. Logan, it is the Federal Aviation Administration. Reported over 17,000 bird strikes. Not birds going on strikes, unfortunately, birds getting hit by them. And most of these strikes occur within 3,000 feet off the ground during the takeoff and the landing. 3% have been reported during the actual flight, which that's got to be pretty up there. All right. Because they've even reported strikes in the 20,000 to 31,000 feet. I don't know what kind of birds can fly that high, but holy cow.
That's one of those other engine run birds. That's called the plane collision.
So obviously there was the whole miracle on the Hudson, which hit a flock of Canadian geese, which caused damage to it. And, thankfully that worked out fairly okay. But it's just a lot of things where engines are being filled and failing because, unfortunately hitting these birds. So it has led to the evolution of the chicken cannon. That's right. The chicken cannons. Among the organizations leading the way in the aircraft testing is the Aerospace Research Center of the National Research Council of Canada. Shout out, Canada. You guys are more than just maple farmers. Based in Ottawa, which is pretty close to us. And if anybody doesn't know, it is the nation's capital. There were 2 incidents in the 60s. So the military was like, you know what? We're probably never in any war. So we're going to come up with something that's going to save airplanes around the entire planet. I don't know if that's true. I just felt like Canadians are too nice to be in war. Yeah. So the NRC's first gun had a 10-inch bore, the diameter of the barrel, and was put into service in 1968, but dismantled in 2009. Today, the NRC's team has 4 guns in its armory with a 3.5-inch, 5-inch, and a 6-inch bore, and what may be the biggest operating gun in the world, the Super Cannon, with a 17.25-inch bore. Which is funny, they're saying inches, but in Canada they use millimeters. So that's So Brandon, I think you've kind of read it a little bit. I don't know if you want to chime in or you want me to keep going.
So it's interesting. So what they're doing is they're testing against windshields, against the not propellers, the side of the plane and the wings of the plane and things like that. And they're firing dead birds. These birds aren't alive. These chickens aren't alive. They've been picked up from chicken farms already dead. They've not been killed to be used for this. But these bird carcasses can weigh anywhere between 3 ounces and 8 pounds. And here's a couple funny parts. But going back to the 1970s, you talked about 68 when it started. Yep. In the late 70s, the NRC performed tests far above the normal speeds that they're using now, faster than the speed of sound. A 2-pound gelatin-based projectile reached a speed of 1.36 or more than that's Mach 1.36 or 1,000 miles an hour. Another test with a real 2-pound bird was fired at Mach 109, more than 800 miles an hour. They still have a poster up that says home of the world's fastest chickens at the NRC there. So the way they acquire these dead carcasses, they go to poultry farms and from companies that have access to the needed birds and have to dispose of them. And there's a bit of an argument at the NRC of who has to go to these chicken farms to pick them up because of, quote, and you guys can share about this, the smell.
Yes. Yep. And they get those birds from specialized companies that use birds of prey to scare away birds from the airport area. Sometimes the small birds just don't make it.
Okay. So I have to interject here. And I'm interjecting because I'm upset that people are making this sound like this is the first time this has happened. 11 years ago, the Mythbusters did their chicken cannon episode.
Yes.
I put it in the private chat.
You did. Season 2, episode 10.
Yes. Yeah, they absolutely did. And you can fast forward all the way through that season 2, episode 10, or you can find it on YouTube. This is not the first time this has happened. This is somebody ripping off the Mythbusters from Canada to make some money. Like, you dirty Canadians. I bet you're from Quebec, aren't you?
Oh.
Don't lie. You know you're from Quebec stealing this shit from the US.
I think Mythbusters stole it because these were being done in the 60s, these guns. They started doing these in the 60s. So, but what's cool about that article, though, yes, they did that, but they also went inside the human body to explore the myth of a woman who claimed she swallowed an octopus egg and gave birth to an 8-legged offspring.
Yes.
Same episode.
Yes.
Okay, you got me on that.
So there's that.
But
And
it's so
I
cool
feel
about
like they
Black
also
chickens.
stole that from Canadians.
There's a chance. Well, the Mythbusters did it because, so everybody knows how the Mythbusters did things. They'd get emails in and they'd be told, hey, this is a myth we've heard of. Does it actually happen? And they're like, well, let's find out. Like, that's how they do it. They don't go, well, let's research what else has been done. They just go, well, let's see if it works. And they do it. Like they got the Wanted, the Wanted bended bullet. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. But the no, it was the hot water heater is one of my favorite episodes of all time.
Don't recall. I obviously know what Mythbusters is. I didn't watch a lot of the episodes, not because I didn't like them. It just wasn't my thing. I like my myths to be unbusted.
Oh, hot water heater. Yeah. So the whole hot water, just to give you a premise in case you ever want to see it, Matthew, because I know you like things blowing up.
And I work for a heating and plumbing company, so I'm all about hot water.
So this was all about, like, will hot water heaters really blow up and destroy your house? And they're like, well, let's find out. The answer, by the way, is an astounding and impressive yes. Yeah.
I've seen...
I think they launched a hot water heater like 300 yards in the air through 3 levels of home.
That's where the rap song came, in the air.
Yeah.
That's where I heard it come. They also stole that from Mythbusters because, that's what Mythbusters do. Were Mythbusters... where were they from? They weren't from Florida.
California. And Jamie and Adam hated each other.
No shit.
Oh, hated each other.
Wow.
Jamie and Adam could not stand each other. But they worked for, the same company and made things work long enough for, I think, like a total of like 8 seasons or 9 seasons.
Wow. So you're saying that, like, if they were sitting on the same couch, they probably
they would not have a cordial conversation.
You know what else happened in Florida over a couch? To speak about a couch, a man bought a new couch.
There it is, and
he found a new pet, but I don't think it was a pet he wanted because I don't think he kept the pet. Do you guys have any guesses? It is Florida, so
rat.
I want you guys,
Alligator.
and I want everybody in
alligator
the chat to guess what was in this couch.
Snake.
Sort of reptile.
We got a reptile. We got a snake.
Angel says a python. Like, she's being specific, not a boa, but a python.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Florida man finds something in his new couch. The crazier side of the internet has been on the nefarious things are hiding inside furniture for quite a while.
Nefarious.
Yeah, that was a tough word. I don't know why that tripped me up because in the sentence, then you go and then there's a random cue, and then, like, it's just the article just seems butchered. Or I don't know, maybe my eyes are going there, but either way, he decided that he was going to go buy a new house. He was called over to a condo, and guess what? They removed a 5-foot boa constrictor.
Oh, see, you should have said boa, baby. You should have
5
said
foot.
boa.
Yeah. So the man
not
just
a
got
boa.
the couch the other day, and he thinks the snake was hiding in the couch when it came to his house. Officers also carried the couch back in the residence for the man. It's a jungle out there sometimes, they said. So, but what I don't know is where the couch ended up. Oh, did they throw it outside? So there's not really much to it, but there's pictures. And they say pictures say 1,000 words because this article. See, there's this random cues and letters everywhere. So this was these were the cops that showed up to the scene.
Nope.
Yeah, no, it was.
No, I know. But nope, not touching the snake. Nope.
No.
Did you say it's fake?
No, I wouldn't go near that goddamn thing.
It's still
Why?
alive.
Are you afraid?
Why?
Wait,
That thing is
Logan, are you afraid of snakes?
That thing is a devil penis.
Bro, listen, there's no fear to be had from a boa for real.
I understand that. Giant danger noodle. I like that. Yeah, that's funny. Snakes? Nope. I don't mind the little garter snake, the grass snake, but anything like that, no. I'm out. I'm gone. See you later. That's why I live where I do. We don't have that type of shit.
Wait, where do you live?
Northern New York, where it's so goddamn cold that no smart ass animal wants to live.
He's like, no iguanas out here, bro.
Yeah, it's that's exactly the only reason why he lives here, by the way. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about so I saw a TikTok video of this lady just casually walking out in her backyard, and like she sees a tarantula running through her backyard, like to the point where from where she's at, which is like a good 30-40 yards away, she can see it in its size running across the yard. And she's like, wait, post a video, and she zooms in. She's like, there's no way. And this thing is like, like just having the time of his life running through the grass. And she's like, nope. Like,
wow. I looked at the clock for the first time, and time flew by. But last week we saved something a little special, and we have to do it. And Toby, we mentioned it in your live the other day. Last week on the picker wheel, for anybody that doesn't know what the picker wheel is, this is what the picker wheel is. And it's just a bunch of categories. If anybody wants to add anything, put them in the comments. We'll put them in there. And we saved Toby because last week we spun favorite Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah, I would like to point out that I've seen Matt in my lives 4 times since this, and all 4 times I've asked Matt, are we talking about like what is it, like our favorite Jim Carrey movie, or what's the discussion? Not once has he answered. Not once. Not one time. He's like, hey, just thought I'd let you know, man. Missed you on the last live. We're going to be talking about Jim Carrey on the next live. We'll see you later. I'm like,
a little bit of a cliffhanger. Yeah, so we're just going to say favorite
I'm ready.
Jim Carrey movie. Our favorite one.
You know what? Because I think I'm going to be the surprising answer. I would like to be last.
I don't think I'm not surprised that you're surprised.
I want to know, are we focusing on the entirety of his catalog, of his work? Okay. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one.
If I'm being honest, can I give 2?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love
based on what?
Based on I'm not really a fan of his drama stuff, with the exception of one show, which I'm going to hold off.
Okay.
Yeah.
For everybody's answer. But I will say this. I loved the first 3 movies that he was actually in, the first 3 of his main guy movies were great. But one of my favorite movies of his period, and one of my favorite movies of all time, is the movie that he did that completely flopped, but looking back is such a great movie, and that is Cable Guy. Yes. It was an awful, it got awful movie reviews from people, but you watch back now, so many great lines, so many great scenes. He did such a great job. Ben Stiller did a bang up job in the movie.
It was a much darker movie than it was projected to be, and it was so good to be surprised by that.
Yeah, it was amazing. So the second movie I loved that I think was probably just a little bit too much Jim Carrey that kind of ruined it, and it could have been a classic, was Me, Myself, and Irene. Because that was I thought, a great movie but I thought it was probably just a little bit. There was a little bit too much him and not enough of somebody else somewhere to kind of add to it, like a Ben Stiller, like a I don't know, Matthew Broderick, or like a what's his bucket from Dumb and Dumber. So those would be my two favorites, and I could talk at length about them, but I want to hear your answers.
Okay, Logan, and then I'll go, and then we'll save Toby for last.
All right. I believe the first movie he was in was called Once Bitten or Twice Bitten. It's an old late. You guys remember that one?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Remember that?
Yes. Like, Once Bitten.
Once Bitten.
I love you so much right now.
That's a decent flick for what it was. There's another one, something about where he's up on skiing on a mountain. I don't remember much of it. Whatever. Me being a huge diehard Jim Carrey fan from the moment I saw him. It's tough to name one because of the one-liners and stuff like that. Like Liar Liar there's some classic moments in Liar Liar. Man on the Moon is great, but my favorite Jim Carrey movie is Cable Guy.
Okay.
Because you just don't get better than oh really.
I completely understand that. He is his character, although like extremely funny, is a very sad and tragic and dark character in that.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have your Jim Carrey, right? Like you said, he's eccentric. Like, I mean, look at what was it? What's the name of the place where they go to eat? Where it's the Knights,
medieval times,
right? Which is a real place, but he goes to medieval times. He's like, so it's still Jim Carrey.
It's him at his best.
There's just this sad darkness to his character that is just you can't. I completely understand when people say the Cable Guy when they talk about Jim Carrey's best.
So and that scene, real quick, that scene where they do the games with the family, one of the best scenes of any movie I've ever watched. It was great.
If you ever want to make someone really, really, really just uncomfortable, like your mother, which I've done many times, you just walk up to her during a very serious family event and just whisper in her ear, "The password is nipple."
Okay.
Oh, and the lisp. He's got the lisp, and then he gets knocked out, and he's like, "It's gone. The lisp is gone." And then, bam! He's like, "Son of a bitch!"
You stupid son of a bitch.
So, Matt, before you go, the other ones, if you guys have never seen The Majestic is a really, really good movie. It's not like funny, classic, awesome Jim Carrey, but it's a really, really good, sweet, like down-home movie, kind of like Truman Show. But check that one out if you haven't seen it. It's really good.
I think what he was able to do with his going from completely Jim Carrey to transforming to this drama guy was really get to the heart of what all comedians are, which is this really broken, trauma-filled person who's dealing with everything through comedy.
Yes, there's a lot of people don't realize that the majority of your best comedians have been through the most tragic thing or suffer from. I mean, look, Robin Williams, perfect example. Like one of these guys is just traumatized by his own psyche their whole life. They're either manic depressive or they're severely depressed or they suffer through alcoholism. Look at Belushi and Farley. All these guys have these tragic lives, and comedy really is. I mean, to be honest, look at me. I lost my son, in 2020, and I make jokes about it because that's where comedy comes from. Comedy comes from a heart of tragedy in most cases, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think nowadays that's kind of lost on people, and that dark humor is really lost in this more like gentle, like safe environment. And it's really nice to see when people get it, because you're like, all right, I found another person suffering through some sort of tragedy that understands that this is what helps them get through. And this just became a good thing. You know,
Yeah.
It's that gallows humor that a lot of even first responders use to deal with what they see every single day. You know, so I know completely.
And check out if you, obviously in Living Color, that stuff is just ungodly funny, and it's still funny.
The Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh yeah,
some of the stuff
Fire Marshal Bill.
And the amount of movies that he was able to come out with in the 90s and early 2000s. I mean, there was he would be working on multiple movies.
Yeah.
All of the time, it seemed like. I mean, from, whether he started getting there, but it was, I mean, just movie after movie after movie, and the quality was amazing. I'm super intrigued for Toby, so I'm just going to throw mine out there real quick. The movie that I liked the best with him, the movie that I've seen a lot, and I'm not a huge movie guy, and I'll be the first to admit I have not seen all of his movies. I've seen some of them. I'm just not a guy that sits down and watches movies. My ADD and OCD just doesn't allow me to sit in one spot long enough, And I love Dumb and Dumber. It's always going to be one of my favorite movies. And Cable Guy was a good one. And I really loved The Mask. The Mask was fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
So those were mine. But Toby, I've been wanting to hear this answer for weeks.
So I mean, if you guys can't already tell, I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. I've watched him from before he hit In Living Color. I watched him while he was in Living Color. I watched his stand-up prior to In Living Color. For those of you that don't know, he's an amazing impressionist. I love, I'm a fan of his movies anywhere from like Logan was saying, Once Bitten through Ace Ventura, and all these. Liar Liar is one of my favorites. If you were talking his comedy, where he gets to play that, I really feel like Liar Liar is where he first started his kind of turn, going from, hey, I'm doing comedy, to a little bit more dramatic, where he played just a normal guy having a really shitty day. And I think he played it really well. But that plays into my favorite Jim Carrey movie, where I rarely hear anybody ever talking about this movie. Yes, Truman Show was amazing, but what a lot of a movie that I feel gets skipped over, where if you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. My favorite Jim Carrey movie is The Number 23.
Yeah, that's really good.
If you have never seen it, this movie is phenomenal. Between The Number 23 and what is it? The Eternal whatever of the Sun's
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yes, another amazing one of those two. I don't care which one you watch. If you're only used to seeing funny Jim Carrey and you really want to see a good dramatic portrayal of somebody that has real acting chops, I mean, on both sides of the spectrum, The Number 23 and Spotless Mind are your two to watch Jim Carrey. I will put The Number 23 at my number one Jim Carrey movie to watch of all time. I've never seen it.
It's creepy.
If you have not seen it, I'm not joking. Like, he does such a great job in that movie that by the time you're done with that movie, it literally makes you start looking at numbers. For real. Like, you don't realize you're doing it, but all of a sudden you start looking, you're like, wait a minute. Holy shit. Wait, is there a conspiracy? And it'll fuck you up. It's a great movie.
So I just looked up real quick while we were here some Jim Carrey movies by release date. And according to the internet, the first movie that he came out with was actually called The Sex and Violence Family Hour. Was before Once Bitten, and the description of this movie, The Sex and Violence Family Hour, is a 1983 sex comedy film with a jumble of sexual skits such as The Big Salami, The Brady Bang, and Leather and Chains.
So that sounds almost like prior to like SCTV type.
It was 1983.
That's got to be skit. That's got to be skit comedy.
Yeah, but I mean, technically, I guess that it's a 1 hour family hour. It's an hour. It's on the Google. It was he says the first, and then it was Once Bitten in 1985. This was in 83. The cover of it's pretty wild. It has Jim Carrey, Terry Austin, George Buza, Katie Ford, and
And
some other.
what year was that?
1983. It was released.
There was one before that, and it was a TV movie. Well, actually, there was a couple before that, but there was a TV movie called Rubberface.
Interesting. But yeah, that was according, like I said, the quick little Google search, because I was like, I would just wanted to see them by release date. That's what popped up first for me, and then it went Once Bitten, Peggy Sue Got Married, The Deadpool, Earth Girls Are Easy, High Strung.
Wait a minute, The Deadpool with Clint Eastwood?
Yeah, he was in there.
So
it was
just
Clint
let you guys
Eastwood,
know,
Liam Neeson, Jim Carrey were all in it.
just to let you guys know. So I said Liar Liar, I felt was like his like emergence into semi-serious, right? So in 97 he did Liar Liar. In 98 he did The Truman Show. 99 Man on the Moon, right? The Majestic, 2001. These are his more serious ones, right? 2004 Eternal Sunshine and Spotless Mind. 2007 The Number 23. He kept getting in each one of those movies I just mentioned. He kept getting stronger and stronger performances until, in my opinion, his peak of that dramatic role was The Number 23. And if you haven't seen it, please do yourself the favor of going in and watching it.
I haven't seen Number 23. I'm going to look it up, but in looking it up on Rotten Tomatoes, it's always been interesting to me how terribly critics are to movies, and then the audience is the opposite.
Oh yeah,
so the critics completely lambast this one, but the audience are a lot higher. So
yeah. And it's the critics will lambast it because just like TikTok, right? Let's look at this in TikTok ways, right? The critics are going to lambast it, and the critics are TikTok. You do a certain type of thing, right? You did Ace Ventura, and you did all these comedy roles all the way up until you're like, you know what? I'm going to do something really dramatic. I'm going to do something outside of the box, something where I can show that I have range. Well, TikTok is like, that's not what you normally do. Fuck you. And they're going to slam it. But the people that are able to see it from your profile page, because it's not going out to your For You, it's not going out to your following. The people that see it on your profile, like, this is fucking amazing.
Can I? Was that water you just drank, Logan?
That's the difference.
Was that water you just drank?
Yeah, it's what is I don't know what the caffeine.
No, and I'm not trying to be like, I don't think I've ever seen you drink water. Like anytime I'm around you, I've seen you drink beer, whiskey, soda. And the awkward, it was like it was painful watching you drink that water. Like it was like a slow, weird sip. I see you drink whiskey like this.
I thought it was vodka for a second. I was like,
me too.
He's testing. He's like testing it. He's like, wait. And then of course he coughed. So I'm like, wait.
Yeah. Okay.
No, this is sparkling water, but I had that much whiskey in it earlier, so I'm just chasing her down.
Okay, I thought it was. I'm glad, Toby, you saw it. Like he was drinking water, and it was like the most awkward thing. And I was like, okay, well, that's
right.
Oh, dude, right. I will go get mine, and we will fight.
I got my money on Toby. So let's spin the picker wheel for the topic for next week. Because yes, pinky up always. He always goes pinky up, Cody. Favorite alcohol to go with dinner is what we are going to speak about next week.
This is impossible. This is impossible.
No, it's not. The answer is yes, please.
The reason I say this is impossible is we all know that different alcohols go with different types of meals. Like, are you talking red meat? Are you talking fish? Are you talking like pizza? Are you talking, oh, hey, I'm just cooking up like Friday, like breakfast for dinner, kind of like. This is impossible.
It's going to be a tough one. But what we'll do is we'll think over the next week of this perfect scenario, in which will never probably happen. But we'll get into a little bit more.
What about dinner for breakfast? Can we consider that too?
That's why wait.
No,
dinner
for breakfast.
No, nobody has dinner for breakfast
all the time.
That's the guy that can barely drink water.
You're too drunk by the time you get home to have dinner doesn't mean that just because you wake up first thing in the morning and eat the leftovers that your wife left laying on the stove as breakfast, that doesn't count.
Let's add that to the picker wheel. We're gonna say
He's like, how many people have dinner for breakfast?
we're gonna put
Logan. The answer is Logan.
No,
do you
no,
eat dinner for breakfast?
no. I will cook myself a dinner for breakfast every once in a while. I don't
Give me an example. Give me an example of what is a dinner for breakfast.
take out some rice, cook some rice, and take out some like a burger or steak or something like that. That we've already cooked, and do that up, and that's what I'll eat for breakfast.
My dinner for breakfast is usually just the cold leftovers out of the fridge. Just 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
like
too tired.
who has
like
the
like
time
David
to
said,
make like
leftover pizza in the morning.
Yeah, who has
Especially-
the time to make a full out dinner for breakfast?
Yeah,
You
but like,
fucking weirdo.
especially, like
The
Like,
reason
I'm-
why you do breakfast for dinner is because you're like, hey, look, we're a little short on time tonight. You guys want some bacon, eggs, maybe biscuits and gravy? You guys, what do you want? Like makeshift egg McMuffins for dinner? Like it's always something quick. You don't like, hey, listen. So check this out. We're gonna make a really nice rice pilaf with a 14-ounce T-bone steak and a fully loaded mash with a fully loaded baked potato mashed within the skin, extra garlic butter, and a side of asparagus. That's not fucking breakfast, bro. Like
Yeah.
it sounds great.
Hey, honey, I know you're in a hurry for work, but you got time for me to make a risotto? Like, no.
No, it's for us. It's nothing for me to be like if a ham steak, Molly will cook like a ham steak or whatever, and like ham and eggs for everyone for the kids, and I'll
That's
grab
fucking breakfast.
Hold on. Then I'll grab a bag of I don't want the egg. I'll grab a bag of peas, do up the bag of peas, grab some other stuff. Like I'm not a huge breakfast guy. I'd rather eat normal shit.
Wait a minute. So are you saying that normally during breakfast hours you eat what you call quote unquote normal shit? Yes. Okay. So I thought let's know that that's what you choose to have for breakfast, which makes you a breakfast guy.
Oh,
shitty, right? Like
Roscoe was like,
listen,
let me in on this.
I'm gonna get into the argument. I'm getting in. I already know we're 11 minutes past our time, but you know what? I missed last week, so I'm not gonna end this shit here. Listen to me and listen to me well, you motherfuckers. All right, Christmas movies. Yeah, I'm getting into it. All right, everybody wants to do the Die Hard. Is it not? Let me explain to you what a Christmas movie is.
Ooh.
If you traditionally enjoy a movie during Christmas time, I don't give a shit if it's Last Action Hero. I don't care if it's Wizard of Oz. I don't care if it's the summer with the Summeringtons in the middle of summer at the summer beach on the summer sand. If that's the movie you choose to watch during Christmas time and it's traditional and it gives you feel goods and it always reminds you of the Christmas time, that's a Christmas movie. But if we're talking about what is a Christmas movie, Christmas themed, okay, it talks about Christmas. It's during Christmas time. The major points of the movie is Christmas, which means no, fuck you. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Gremlins, Christmas themed. They do talk about Christmas. It's during Christmas time. Fucking Christmas movie. Christmas Story, same thing. Christmas movie. Just because a movie happens around the time of Christmas, it doesn't make it a Christmas movie. However, again, with that being said, if you enjoy it and your family or your friends and you all get together and every year you've got to watch this movie because it's part of your Christmas tradition and it reminds you, anytime you watch it, you think about, man, I really wish I was home right now watching this around a tree and like doing whatever, like in its Christmas-y in your mind. And it brings you back to that. That is your Christmas movie. End of argument. There's no such thing as a Christmas movie or a non-Christmas movie. What you are comfortable watching and what brings you to that feeling of Christmas time or the holiday season, that is a Christmas movie. For each and individual person, it's going to be different. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, but I know a couple of Christmases ago we had a tradition with me and a couple of buddies when we were living that single life where we would watch Die Hard Christmas Eve.
Yes.
But we would play the Die Hard drinking game, and we
Oh.
would wake up very,
So good. So
very,
good.
very hungover. And
If you don't want to have a recollection of the 3 days prior to that,
yes,
it's an excellent drinking game.
So what is the rules?
It was something like anytime he says "Yippee ki-yay, motherfucker," you finish a beer. When you hear McLean and something else, you take a drink. If there's anything that has to do with Christmas, you take a drink. Anytime he talks about being a cop, you take a drink. When somebody dies, you take a drink.
Bro, an
explosion, you take a drink.
It will put you in a coma. Drink something light. Like take shots of beer. It's one of those. Has anybody here? And again, good God, we're so far past our time. And I'm sorry, I'm absorbing so much of this time.
No,
has
it's okay.
Anybody ever done the 100 shots of beer challenge?
Jesus fuck.
I've done the power hour where you take one shot every minute for 60 minutes
of beer, right?
Of beer.
Okay. Now, a lot of people will be like 1 ounce of beer, whatever. Like, okay. That's 100 ounces of beer. I want you to go ahead and tally that up. It's 100 ounces of beer in 100 minutes.
Yeah.
100 minutes is 20 minutes less than 2 hours. Okay. So you're talking about drinking almost 10 cans of beer in an hour and a half.
7.5.
Yeah, it's 7.5 cans of beer in an hour, in less than an hour and a half.
Yeah. It's
or just over an hour, 10 minutes beyond an hour and a half. I want to know who can handle that with a regular, not like an ultralight beer, not like PBR. 100 shots of PBR, 1 shot, and just keep doing it for an hour and a half. People think it's the simplest premise in the hour. It will destroy you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say maybe we do a special edition where we do it on a show, but that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. We're not going to do that.
How about we do this? Let's hear. What's 60 ounces? What's 60 ounces? How many beers? 60 divided by 12. That's 5? Okay. So we each take a shot, right? And we're supposed to be live for an hour. Every minute we pour a 1 ounce shot and pop it during one of these lives. Christmas Day. Should we do a Christmas Day?
I mean, I'm not scared. But either way, we'll figure this out. One of these days we're gonna do this, and it's it's pretty brutal. Logan, you might have to do one from your house or spend the night because that's gonna be a good one. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was awesome. Is a friend of mine back in the day, he made a DVD with the Power Hour, so it was minute songs. So every time the song changed, you did your shot, and you had during that song to do it. So it was 60 songs, a minute each, and we just did.
What's the other one? The drunk Mario Kart. Before you have to take you have to shotgun or drink an entire 12-ounce beer before you finish your lap, before you can start the next lap. And there's 3 laps in Mario Kart?
Yeah, 3 laps. Yep. You had to finish a beer before the lap. And yeah, some do a lap, some do a race. Yeah, maybe we do that on one of your streams, Brandon. I'll play drunken Mario Kart.
Not drunken Splitgate.
I mean, maybe we can do that as well. So, all right.
Maybe by the end of that, I'll be carrying you, huh?
I'm so sorry I extended this.
No, this has been a lot of fun. And if it was a bigger deal, I would have ended it. I have nowhere else to go until work in the morning. So, and we have a lot of people that are still here hanging out, so we appreciate that. And
awesome.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys. What we'll do is we'll wrap this up, because we know that we'll probably chat for a little bit behind scene. I know Brandon's probably going to go live in a little bit. So I want you guys to go check out Brandon J McDermott, Twitch, all the social medias. He's going to be, what are you playing tonight? Splitgate?
Splitgate.
He's going to go play some Splitgate. It's a game that's Halo mixed with Portal. And it's a shooter game. A lot of fun. And Logan, he's going to hang out, sip a little water, pinky up. His cheeks are looking a little flush.
He's a little red.
Little red in the face. Hair's looking pretty good.
It's not bad. The forehead is looking bigger than ever.
I wasn't going to say it. Beard's looking short.
Look at this. Look.
Yeah.
It's like sick.
I could do the whole show like this. If I had googly eyes, I could put googly eyes here in the mouth, and you guys wouldn't even know the goddamn difference.
Yes, if you had your Finlay hat on, we wouldn't have noticed the forehead, but we wouldn't have noticed the great hair. Thank you guys for a good show. This is an awesome show. I'm super thankful for Brandon, Logan, and Toby and Angel for coming in here. We just had somebody complaining last week that we needed a female on the show, and we had one on the show tonight. Where were you complaining tonight? You weren't, because we had a female on the show. So we thank you guys. Like, again, Toby, Brandon, Logan, I appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat, you guys are amazing. We'll be back here next week, same time, same place. And who knows what we're going to talk about. And if you guys have any cool articles that you think would be amazing for the show, I tell you to email Logan at beardlaws.com. He doesn't know how to check it. Feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram or anywhere else. And yeah, this was amazing. And we can't thank you guys enough. And yeah. All right. Have a good rest of your night. We're going to do an outro because we didn't even have time for an intro because we wanted to talk with you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.